As we opened our doors to students this year, we were acutely aware of some of the messages of division and vitriol in our world and sought out to create a sense of belonging for students. Many of us who are also community members have been thinking about how we can expand and wear that hat and support how to help students in that feeling of belonging. It's been difficult, to say the least, to think about how to get involved, to think about the risk involved, finding a comfortable place in our own social circles, in our own daily lives, and to operate the tasks as an educator versus the risk of all your personal connections to be involved as a community member and what that looks like, especially in such a politically divided world. So I've been thinking about what this might look like and how to proceed, like many teachers I'm sure have. I got a call Friday on my way out of town to get away from society and to get into the mountains. And the call I took is something that haven't been able to get out of my head. One of my young friends had passed away. It was a young friend who left with an unfulfilled mission. He was one of the best advocates for children I've ever seen. He was an absolute hope navigator, taking any kid exactly where they were at, no matter what was going on in their life, and able to guide them and able to unite those around him. I first met him when he was working for the Puyallup tribe, coaching wrestling at Chief Leshai, and I was coaching wrestling at the Muckleshoot Tribal School. And I later got to work with him at Muckleshoot. And at Muckleshoot, got to work with him on some teams of amazing people. One similarity with Tahoma is the number of amazing people, both in the schools and the community, very dedicated to students. One stark difference that I always admired about the Muckleshoot community is they have a defining compass point. And that compass point is nothing supersedes the ideal of our people. This construct of our people, nothing, not Republican, not Democrat, would supersede that. Of course, they had Republicans and Democrats as tribal members, but that never superseded our people and the strength that signified. They had often conflicting themes that we typically see when we think of Republican and Democrat. They had social services with high accountability. So they would have a high efficiency of funds so they could route somebody quickly to treatment if needed. Also, that efficiency allowed to reach more people. Fascinated by the Tamanamis Forest. They have a financially sustainable forest operation where the economics of a product, job creation, culture, education, sustainable ecosystems merge. And their youth are getting their hands in the dirt in the wee hours as part of the job training. And all of this is financially sustainable. And we hear bickering in our forest fires and why we can't. But I look at that and I wonder how they did it, and it all comes back to our people. The sovereign and united focus of our people. And I think about equity in our community. I think about that term, and that brings up a lot of different emotions for different people. Often different emotions on different sides of the political spectrum. But I wonder, what would happen if we moved away from an ideology of my party is the hero and your party is the villain, and we shifted? What if we shifted to unity as the hero and division as the villain? This would be hard. It would be painful. It would be vulnerable. It would take a lot of risk. If we have that compass point of our people as the people, all of the people of the Tahoma community, what will that look like for students as they walk through the door? What will that look like for us? It may look like an educator risking their future by reaching out and publicly stating to the WEA if they print and produce language that attacks one party or the other, that's not how we're doing it in our community. That's not how it's going to work for our people, because that's divisive. And we don't do divisive, we're doing unity. What would it look like if we stripped away all of the political connotation to equity? And we use the conversation for equity, that this is a net gain. Because we are on a hunt. We are hunting for any shortcomings in our ability to serve students and help them each and every reach their maximum potential. That when we talk about equity, we're not talking about a narrative, any of them. We're not talking about a Democrat narrative, not talking about a Republican narrative. We're talking about people, and we're talking about integrity, and we're talking about strength, the highest bar possible for each and every. Just as iron sharpens iron. Like when you look in a wrestling room, you're shedding sweat and some blood, and you're competing hard to make each other stronger. But then you're also cheering for each other. And there's an unbreakable bond in that process, where each and every individual in that room, no matter their weight class, no matter their experience, are all grinding together with the highest work ethic possible. They're grinding through the sprints. They're grinding through every drill thrown at them to build that solidarity and that unity. What if we redefine that for our people? This is how we're doing equity, and we are going to stand apolitically on the mission. Not only are we going to stand apolitically, but we are going to intentionally push out any divisive narratives, because we are on an unwavering hunt within our own minds and within our own community to find the best possible outcome for each and every student, with the humility that we have a lot to learn. So hard to learn through the perspective of another. So hard to listen and understand what has happened in their life. We have so much skill, talent, loving, hardworking people in this community that if we had a communal definition of our people that was the driver, then that gives us the biggest net possible and the highest chance possible to reach each and every student who, when they're struggling, we can be there when presented with that opportunity to serve as a hope navigator.